You know that feeling when you're completely exhausted after giving tests and listening to boring lectures all day, and then you come home and still have to study so much for a test tomorrow? I don't know about you, but I used to drag myself to the table, open my books, and study without anything actually going inside my head, just because I had to do it somehow. I'm in university now, and I have to manage a huge amount of time just to study and get everything done. And over time, I've seen what works for people around me, and even for people online. I have realized something important. Studying isn't as impossible as it feels if you do it with intention. And honestly, it's not even a discipline problem. Let's be real, a student has so much going on in their mind that by the end of the day, the brain just shuts down. So you have to be picky about the methods you use. Not everything works for everyone. So let's talk about some methods that actually help. Stay in the library. Honestly, I don't even need to explain this point. You know how attractive your bed looks when you come home after a long day? Suddenly, the desk and chair feel invisible. So the best option is to complete your tasks while you're still in school, or just go straight to the library and study there for a few hours. This is especially important for people who procrastinate a lot. If you've already studied your topics, you can come home and rest peacefully. But libraries help build discipline in the long run. So if you know you won't study once you get home, stay back in the library for a few hours every day before going home. Allocate your study period. Okay, bestie, you just came home after a long day at school. Now what's the plan? Are you planning to cut down your sleep just so you can scroll on TikTok for a couple of hours? Sure, you can study without sleeping. No doubt. But is it effective? Maybe for a few days. But in the long run? Definitely not. So, what planning techniques actually work long term? To answer this, let me quote a famous concept called Parkinson's law, which states that work expands to fill the time available for its completion. For example, if you set a deadline of 3 hours to complete a unit, your brain subconsciously finds ways to make that task complex enough to take all 3 hours. But if you give yourself just 45 minutes, you'll automatically look for ways to finish it within that time. And I know you've experienced this at least once. I experience it in every exam season. When the exam is tomorrow, so many units are untouched, procrastinated for weeks, but somehow we finish everything the night before. Not a single topic is left. So what's the solution when exams aren't near? You manipulate your brain into thinking they are. When I was preparing for competitive exams, I used to literally brainwash myself into thinking the test was tomorrow. I'd tell myself, I have to finish these topics today for tomorrow's exam, even when there was no actual test coming up. So set clear deadlines. If you want to get things done even when you're tired and unmotivated, deadlines help because the task will take less effort than you expect. Study friend groups. This is such an underrated way to study without burning out. This is where studying and life actually come together. You can go to a cafe, a library, or just sit back in class and teach each other. Teaching is one of the best forms of active recall. If you hate doing active recall alone, teach a friend without looking at your notes. You'll understand the topic so much better. And listening to a friend teach you, then revising it later on your own, it's way more effective than staring at the same page for hours and not retaining anything. But I do recommend setting separate revision time for yourself during exams. Because when a friend teaches you, it feels like you know everything but without revision. That information can evaporate right when you need it most. Sleep. Just rest when you come home from school. And no, I don't mean watching movies or scrolling reels. I mean proper sleep. Your brain gathers new information all day. Of course it gets tired. Let it rest. Sleep for 30 minutes to even 2 hours, whatever your body needs. Then wake up, eat your dinner, and study with a fresh mind. There's no point dragging your study hours when you're half asleep. And please don't rely on coffee or energy drinks. More importantly, drink enough water. Your brain literally slows down without it. Coffee can mask tiredness, but it messes with your sleep cycle and leaves you groggy the next day. Rest when you need to, but don't confuse rest with avoidance. You still need to study. So that's it for today's video. I know studying after school feels draining. Doing it every day for years feels exhausting. But if you study with discipline and still have a life, hobbies, rest, health, you'll feel much less burnt out. I'll see you in the next video.